Hey guys, it's Chris here, and in this video I want to show you that there has never been a time in history where it was easier to make a lot of money as a music producer and to do what you love full time. The thing is that most producers don't even know that this is possible and still think they have to live the life like the starving artist, but they don't. So in this video I want to show you 3 proven ways how you can earn over $10,000 a month as a music producer. I want to show you some producers that are already making outrageous amounts of money. I want to show you how you can do it as well and why exactly 2025 is the best year to start your music online business as a music producer. And if you're asking yourself why you should even listen to me, over the last years, I have worked with some of the biggest companies and brands in the world. I brought them thousands of new customers and we achieved together over $1 billion in sales revenue. In this time where I was working there, I was also starting to produce my own house music and I was DJing all over Berlin, Germany. I was on 2 Asia tours. On my last tour, I made the decision that instead of making the shareholders of big companies richer, I want to work with people who love music as much as I do. And so now I started Full-Time Music Maker to help music producers to grow a sustainable business online, just doing what they love. So what are the 4 elements that you need to start your business online? It's actually a pretty easy equation. You need a good market. In your case, that's music production. You apply a proven business model and you have to become the person who can create so much value consistently that you earn 10K a month. Then you have to apply time, which will make it eventually grow exponentially. That's already it. That's all you need. So let's start by setting the right expectation. Here are 5 harsh realities. First of all, there is no such thing as a get quick rich scheme. Just create a sample pack or create this one track breakdown. You run an ad and then the passive income is coming in and you're just gonna sit in Bali and drinking cocktails for the rest of your life. Things like this don't exist. There's no cheat codes. It will take deliberate effort and time to make it work. If you're looking for this one hack that will make you rich, you will just not find it. Or if you find it, tell me, because I don't know it and also my mentors don't know it. Otherwise, anyone would do it, right? The other thing that is, there will be haters. Now, when you try to accomplish a goal, there's many people who try to accomplish a goal and they might support you because by validating you, they're validating their dream. You approve of and validation of what they're trying to achieve. But as soon as you accomplish that, you are basically the mirror in the face of these people, showing them what they should be doing but don't do, or what they could have become if they would have taken action. And you're gonna lose some people on the way, but the good thing is you're gonna know which are the real people who actually stick with you. One point that's also very important is you have to take sacrifices. Parties you go to, your consumption habits. Like I was a DJ for half a decade in Berlin, and there was a time when I was smoking weed every day. I was going to 1 or 2 parties every weekend, and it wasn't a way of fun time, but I still had my dreams, my goals, but I didn't move anything forward. And it came to the point where the frustration grows so big and I knew I had to withdraw myself from all that and I had to make a big change. And that's just it. You have to make sacrifices. And overall, I realized that this is not even what made me happy. It's building my own stuff. But still, it's parties you go, consumption habits. You have to watch less Netflix. If you like to go to the gym 5 times a week, you probably have to cut down on this. If you cook 3 times a day, you have to get rid of a ton of stuff that you don't want to get rid of. And one big point is entitlement. No one cares about who you are, who you work with, where you released. In business, it's all about how much value you can create for others. It's quite harsh, but the market is also quite honest. If you provide a great product and you market it well, you will have a flourishing business. So be humble and focus how you can add the most value to your target audience. And I think this is a great segue to our next point. Why would people even consider paying you for your service or product? First, an important question is, what even is money? Money is an abstraction that we humans created to determine our status in the social hierarchy. Back in the day, we had social classes and they looked like, on top was the king, then it was the duke, the earls, and the peasants. And as a peasant, you basically stood no chance in moving up in the social hierarchy. That some peasant marries the princess. That was basically something from Hollywood. But in real life, that didn't really happen. But nowadays, we have money. And with money, we can go from down here to the top. It's basically what we call the American dream. And with that money, we exchange for value. And value is created when pain gets relieved. Because when we're in pain, we want a solution. If you simplify it, if you are thirsty, you drink. If you're hungry, you eat. You want food. So it's the pain that you can solve. What have you solved as a music producer that other people would find valuable and would give you money for? It's probably something like templates, it's mindsets to make it in the music industry, the mental game, it's creativity hacks to overcome writer's block, it's workflow tips to increase your output, it's contacts and networks in the industry, it's how the industry secrets, how do you build your brand in the industry, the sounds you use, the presets you have. There's people who are in pain because they're trying to figure it out, and you are there and you have figured it out because they're simplified 10 skill level steps. Let's just assume you are 6. There's a lot of people on this planet that are once bloody beginners and a 10 is an expert. But there's just a little amount of people who have such high expertise, and with high expertise, there's more money. So if you're a 6, you should target people that are 1, 2, or 3 steps behind you because you have something valuable to offer. But if you're a 4, you can offer something that's 1, 2, 3 steps behind you. If you are a 4, you can very well tell the 1s or 2s how to get to 4. You can even do it better probably than a 6 can, because the 6, it's been already so long, but a 6 can help these here. A 1 benefits much more from a 4 than from a 6. It's like when you would like to learn football, but you never touched a ball before and you have your first lesson with Cristiano Ronaldo. In the first session, the only thing you tried probably is like to try to kick a ball without landing on your butt. But already someone's uncle in a tracksuit can show you this. Where on the other hand, Cristiano Ronaldo would have like, if there's someone who's already like in one of the top leagues and kind of wants some tips how to be like ice cold scorer in the Champions League, this is why they would pay probably like 100,000 for like an hour of him to learn all that, you know? So if you're the 6, you offer a coaching that's like really a whole weekend with you. People come to wherever you live. If you live in Ibiza, if you live in Berlin, and they come a weekend, spend a weekend with you, 3 days in the studio, breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, and they can ask you all the questions that they want. It's fair enough to at least charge for something like this $2,000. That means per 1 month, you only need to invite 5 people who pay you $2,000 and to make $10,000 a month. And this was sometimes it's easier to find, for instance, 1 person who pays 10K when you're on that skill level than to find 100 beginners that pay 100, which also equals 10,000. This is why it's so important to get high level skills to become good at music. And also then good at creating offers. And you think who in the right mind maybe would spend that much, but if you have such valuable things to show, then the value will be even higher to them. Because if you would, for instance, spend 10K for like a mastermind with your favorite producer, let's say the absolute GOAT in your mind, and invites for like a 4-day mastermind in Ibiza, and you on this mastermind you spend, as I said, so many, you have meals together, you can ask him all questions, but you meet his friends, which are all industry experts, so you make all these valuable connections. The 10K that you pay right now can turn into like 100, 200K and like a very fulfilling career afterwards. And this is actually how masterminds work. So what I want you to take away from this is like the higher your skill level, the better you can position yourself for a high ticket price. And here you see how that can be making more sense than going for the beginners. It doesn't mean that the beginners doesn't work. It's just a different way of positioning and marketing yourself. In my experience that I have also with working with my clients is that the people who are paying more and are willing to pay more are the people who are more committed and more fulfilling to work with. If you pay money, you pay attention, is the saying. But now to the question, how do you actually deliver this value? And there's 3 different ways to deliver value. One is done for you. For instance, you go to a restaurant and the chef cooks you a hamburger. Or like in music, it would be like you're doing mixing for someone, mastering, you give someone great unique samples. The other thing is done with you. It's like you are going to a cooking class. The cook helps you make the burger in his kitchen. In the music, it would be coaching, track feedbacks, or also workshops. And the last part is do it yourself. So the chef uploads the recipe, you download it, and you cook the burger at home. And in music, there will be online courses, sample packs, or presets. The value that you can actually charge is not just depending on your skills, but also if you're in the right market. So let me show you why the online music production market, particularly one for electronic music, is one of the best ones to be in 2025 for the next decade. If you go back to the example, let's say you have a really great business models. You know, one of the ones that I'm going to show you later, you are a very sharp person and you have loads of time that you can apply to it. But if your market is Discmans, a market that's massively shrinking or is like already shrunk for the most part, even with a high value skill, there's just not the people you can charge that money for. So one of the most important parts is in determine if a market is a goldmine, like the music production market is growth. And to demonstrate you why you are as a music producer in the right market, let us go 100 years back in history. So up until 1920, it was completely normal for most households to have a piano or guitar and that the family made the music together at home or in the village to get the entertainment. But 1920, the radio came, and with 50 of television, it just went down and down. Until the 2000s, when technological advancement caught up, the big labels got a little bit disarmed because people were starting to download music, but at the same time there was DAWs and plugins coming into the market and basically democratizing the music creation process. Now everyone could start to make their own music, and the number of music that gets released from independent artists is absolutely skyrocketing right now. And it's predicted to go even much, much higher in the next 10 years. And you can also see that in the data from the market for electronic music, for instance. In 2018, it was about 8 billion. Now we're already at 12 billion, and it's predicted to even double in the next 10 years. It basically means that there's so much new people coming in. There's so much new ones and twos to teach as a forum and offer coachings, and so many new people to offer sample packs to, and ghost productions and all the stuff we're going to cover later. So you see that it's a really good market to be in now. We're coming to the next part, which is pain. With the market growing, you have a lot of people that are not good enough, that are not improving, that are stagnating, so they have to keep learning. And you can teach them. Artists that already there have the pressure to release more, but have no time to take care of all of this. So they need mixing, mastering, ghost production, so you can offer them your services. Artists have the problem that they need to develop the sound because the music starts to sound the same, they start to feel uninspired, so they need new sounds, presets, and plugins. That's the chance for you to give them products, but we're going to go into that in a sec. It's really important also in the market that the target audience, but also you, is easy to find, either through associations, groups, channels, and there's I think there's even groups of tens of thousands people just for modular synthesis. You can find instantly so many producers and fans on Instagram, and even on Facebook, TikTok. You can just cast your fishing line to find people, and they can easily find them when you build your brand online. And another thing that's really important is purchasing power. How much money does your target audience have? This is even relevant for you because also if you're the 6 and you have your high value coaching, but you target students that are on one, they won't have the money to pay you. So you always have to look that you position yourself and that you aim for a target audience who has money to pay you. Now we already covered why people pay, who is able to pay. So let's have a look into what are people actually paying for. So let's go to the 3 main business models, not just for music production, but the business models that are just as old as civilization itself. These are no hacks, just good old-fashioned business models. The first one is the service-based business model. You provide a service in exchange for money. And the service, in this case, is taking over at least one part of the production process. The production process is the mastering, the mixing, and the songwriting. And in the songwriting, you find more small parts like the arrangement, samples, if if you need unique samples for a music piece, for instance, like a guitar riff, some drums, the composing of the melodies, the sound design, and the vocals. And if you take over the whole part, it's full production service. And in electronic music, it's called ghost production. So let's have a little look how this looks like in reality. Here is one amazing example, and it's Austin from Make Pop Music.
So for production, if I'm doing independent projects, it's typically $3,000 to $4,000. For mixing, it's about $1,000 to $1,500.
In a recent interview, he said that he actually made over $300,000 last year in revenue with his music production business, which is awesome, just doing what he loves. Another great example is Ethan Davis.
I started as a freelance producer, producing for people at $500 per song. And then over the next few years, I was able to kind of scale up and get to a base rate of $2,000 per song. And in the last decade, sometimes up to $10,000 per song in special cases.
He's also a music producer. He's quite active on YouTube, very nice guy. And as you see, like, there is a lot of money in providing your services. Another way to provide your services as a ghost producer is when you productize your services. So there is customized services like Austin says in his YouTube videos he does, or it sounded for me like Ethan does. So people come to him and how much they charge and how big the project is, what they have to do, they determine through a personal interview and like what the project is, what's the vision of the artist. On the productized service, on the other hand, productized service is a service that's standardized and repeatable. It's basically a fixed process. The client knows exactly what he or she gets, like how many revisions, what's included. As you can see here, for instance, like you buy one original track, you get one original track for $9.99. There's no pro or con if it's better to have a customized service, a productized service. Although I think that in the high tier, like big labels, big projects, it's more like customized for like some albums maybe or some stuff. But I think in electronic music, I know also for many people who do like productized. Like I make a track for you for 500, for 1,000 or for 2,000. If you want to take that one step further, then we go from productized service to product-based service. What does that mean? With a product, it's a standardized and tangible item that's created once and sold repeatedly with minimal ongoing effort. This can be mass production for like a shoe or for chocolate, but in this case, we're talking about e-commerce for digital products. And digital products, in this case, being samples, presets, templates, beats, or even whole tracks. Just now we saw that here you basically pay $9.99, you tell the producers what your vision is, what you want to do, and for $9.99 he or she makes whatever you wish. But there is also tracks as e-commerce. There's pages like House of Tracks, I'm Ghost Producer, and there's plenty other ones where you can just, like in a Beatport store, you just go there and you can buy a track, / you can offer it. In your case, when you want to make money as a producer, you go there and you can submit your tracks there. I make a whole other video, by the way, for this topic, how to become a ghost producer. And then you sell your track for like 300, 400 bucks, 500. I even sell some for 600, and they're selling a lot. So I would not be surprised if lots of things you hear on Beatport, people bought here. Because why else would you buy a track or 3 tracks for like over $1,000, right? This is one way. You can't do it in mass production, of course. You get the royalties, just one person gets this. The other thing is more like IKEA. You have like one desk, one table that goes to like 1,000 people for like a cheaper price. Or you have this like custom-made, nice woodwork, great smelling mahogany table. You sell just the one piece for more than, like you sell one of these tracks for more than you would sell a sample pack. This brings me to another amazing example, to an absolute legend in that field, is Steven Sematics.
One misconception is how much you can make. Soundmax is anywhere on average between $250,000 to $350,000 a month. Getting $50K a month is very easy if you focus. It's very doable if you focus and grind. It might take a while. It's going to be simple, but it's very doable.
He's a producer over the last 7 years. He built a $15 million sample empire. He makes now around $300,000 a month. Yeah, he makes now $300,000 a month, which is absolutely insane. So the third business model I want to show you is information transfer or coaching, education, basically. So as an educator or as a coach, you transfer your knowledge and expertise to help people who are less skilled than you are to close the gap between where they are and where they want to be. If they would know what you know, they would be where you are right now. One thing, when you offer your product-based service or your service-based services, it is really important that you are already very good at what you're doing, that you're an expert, that you are putting out music on a constant base, on a high level. In order to offer services or to offer products, you need a really high quality body of work. Because if you release something right now that people buy, but it's only okay or not so good, also in 5 years it's gonna suck. Even though you're better. You know, if you create a shitty sample pack, if you mix someone's track, a ghost produce a shitty track, it's always gonna be your name attached to it. But the great thing about information transfer is about coaching education, even if you only have 3 or 4, you can still provide a lot of value to a 1 or to a 2. There is already people who want to go there where you are right now. And now a really great example that I want to show you now for information transfer is Hyperbit. He grew his education empire business to over $1 million a month. And he did that basically by not targeting complete beginners, but by targeting people who are like already intermediate. So people who already knew that they like music production, but they didn't know how to operate Ableton, they know what a synthesizer is, they know how to use samples, but they wanted to go to this next step, to the next professional sounding step. Through the course of his operations, he built an email list with I think 10,000 subscribers or so. And he made a product that is worth around 3 to 5K. And here comes the magic power of 1%. When you have an email list with 10,000 and you offer them your program and only 1% signs up and 1% of 10,000 is 100, and if 100 people buy your $3,000 product, you make 300,000. If it's 5,000, you make 500,000. If 2% buy it, you make 1 million with it. And that's the power of higher ticket offers that also live up to the value, that deliver at least 5,000 euros of value. But this is why when you have the ability, you should charge the most you can for your skills. And then when you grow such a massive audience and just a small amount of people buy, you can make this outrageous amounts of money. Let's have a look at the biggest misconceptions that people have about making lots of money and earning over 10K a month as a music producer. People think you need an online course to start a coaching business. The only thing you need is a high value skill and someone to offer it to. You need an online shop to sell samples. Also here, the only thing you need, same with the coaching business, is a PayPal link and a messenger. And the same is you need a website to sell your service. You just need someone to find who needs what you do. A website can be helpful, a shop can be helpful, a course can be the thing people get drawn to. But when you try to find people, approach people, you don't need any of these things. The same works for you need a big following to make money. The only thing you need to have is a high leverage skill. And the biggest is that there's no money in the music industry, but we already busted that myth, didn't we? So let's have a look on how you can actually start today. As we learned, there are service-based, product-based, and info transfer businesses. And now is the question, where can you provide the most value? And there's this nice interest, skill set, and value metrics. So skill set, what are you good at? Interest, what do you like? And the value is, what do people need? For example, if you're good at sound design, that's a good skill set. But your interest, something that you really love, is death, metal, jazz, you know? I mean, it sounds like an interesting genre, but I don't know if there's going to be more people than you are who are interested in learning how to do that or build that. Maybe there are. Maybe I'm wrong. But in this case, it would be in the intersection between interest and skill set. But because there's not so much pain that needs to be solved, not so much value. Because value is created when pain is solved. But there is no pain, at least not that I know of. So that would not be the best best business model for you. But let's, for instance, say you are a good sound designer, but your second favorite genre, and you're also pretty good at it, is tech house. So what you can do is you can make tech house sample packs because you're good at sound design. There's people interested in tech house, and there's many people who need tech house samples. Another example is you are a killer producer. You have figured out how you can make 2 good tracks on a day. Death metal, jazz, but also tech house. And there's lots of people who want to know how to do that. So it has high value in you teaching them how to do that. So figure out what you're interested in, what you like to do, and what would people need. Maybe now what you want to do, and this is what I mentioned earlier already, but the misconceptions that you don't need an online course, you don't need a sample website or some stuff. The only thing you need is a messenger. And there's 3 different types of people that you can message. The first is your hot contacts. And I don't just mean like supermodels or some stuff. I mean the people that you already warmed up with, like very warm. You're hot with them. In that sense. It's friends, producers you know, people you collaborated with already, and real fans. People that know your fans because they texted you and they've shown respect to your work. Another group that would be warm contacts, would be followers of you. If you have like 5,000, 10,000, even more followers, it's a long list of people. Peers you know, like producers that you maybe haven't collaborated with, but there's mutual respect, you know that they exist, you liked your posts and stuff, you know, commented fire emojis or something under someone's post. The other thing is cold contacts, but still relevant, which is for producers in your niche. Other, in this case, tech house. What is up there? Tech house producers. Follow of similar artists like you are or like they are, and that liked relevant posts. What you would do now, you want to offer your service. You want to go to the market now. So you do tech house coachings. And what you do now is you contact 10, 20, 30, 50 people now a day with what you're doing. With a message that look like this. Hi blank, how's it going? I'm starting a business coaching service to help upcoming producers or other producers to, in this case, become better at their tech house producing. Right now I'm taking on 5 people for free or give away products for free because you want your business to grow, so you want some case studies and testimonials, and then you ask, do you know anyone who could benefit from this? First of all, it is, when you ask if they know someone who could benefit from this, it's just as good as if you ask if they need it. Even though you give it for free, it's still a sale in a way, but if they know someone, they tell you, and if they're interested as well, they also tell you. So this is a good example to get the person, the lead. In business it's called lead, actually, not contacts. Did you get the lead and maybe 2 more of his friends or something? Starting with 3 customers, with 3, makes sense for 4 reasons. It's very likely that they become paying customers afterwards if you give them 2 coaching sessions for free and they're like, wow, that was so valuable to me. I made so much progress. I want to pay for the next ones. And they're also going to refer you to their friends. They leave testimonials and they can give you feedback actually. Because if you maybe already like, especially maybe when you're like a developed artist, and if you release a course or like a sample pack and it's rubbish, you know, the damage is much higher than for a beginner. So even then it makes sense, because also the friends and peers that you have are a much higher level, to offer something for free first. This message you can basically shoot to your friends, to the producers you know, and the bigger you are, the more probably is there's already, then warm contacts. Like if you have 10,000 followers, you can, if from this 10,000 people, there might be 50 who say yes, you know? And if it's just like, if it's like 100, even if it's just €100 coaching for all 50 people, that's $50,000 in revenue that you would make, and you would probably charge more than 100 at some point. This is how Sematics, how they started. They made sample packs and they offered them for free. They were looking at the sample companies and looked at the people who liked their posts, and then everyone who liked the post, so they were obviously interested in samples, they sent them a message like, here's a free sample pack. And the sample pack wasn't like some some shitty free giveaway. It was high quality samples, but in return for an email address. So in this time they acquired like I think 10, 20,000 email addresses, and then they started launching their actual products. The thing how you can go to market right now, go through your friends, then go through your followers, and then if there's some post to have like 500 likes, you can text. If there's a post of 500 likes, with 500 likes under an online course, under a sample company, you know that these people are interested in that. So if you text them, and if they see, wow, this is like an established house, tech house, techno, EDM producer, whatsoever, texts me, it's like, oh, cool, that's really nice. Like, wow, this person notices me. Like, it has some weight to it. So this is the perfect way to start. This is the exact way how I'm starting my company right now. And the other way is called inbound. Inbound, you basically do YouTube, Instagram, or email, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. Email is the medium where the most sales get made. I make an extra video for that. YouTube is the best way to make sales and get people onto your email list, but Instagram, since the manage it function also has become very good. You start making content that gives value and fits to your business. And when you do that, people are gonna come to you at some point. This is how, here is another example from Austin, from Make Pop Music. What he said was YouTube is doing for him.
With you, just from our YouTube channel alone, I probably get 100 to 100 inquiries a month of people trying to hire me to produce their song or mix their song or listen to their song for feedback. And those are people that, yeah, maybe they've gone and they've heard my portfolio, but most of them have just seen me on the YouTube channel.
As you see, because if you text people, you still have to sell them if they don't know you on yourself, you know, but if they already know you, they already sold on you, not maybe on your product, but on you. They like you already, they trust you. An average, there's like an average, but there's a study that like, if someone watches 7 hours of content from you, the chance that they buy is basically 100%. I know that's a lot, but 100%, that's also a lot, actually. So in order to become the 6-figure music entrepreneur, someone who makes 10K a month, you have to set goals like someone who is a music entrepreneur. So in this, you have to figure out, where are you right now? You have to know, where do you want to go and what has to be done to get there. And this is where most people stop. They just make, where do you want to go? Oh, my goal is to make 10,000. My goal is to make 10 releases. My goal is to lose 10 pounds. What has to be done? How often do I have to go to the gym? How much time do I have to spend in the studio? And the same is with business, you know? If you know, for instance, with music, you need 20 hours to make a track, then you know for 10 tracks, you need to spend 200 hours in the studio. And the same is with, if your overall goal, like we all have, is creative freedom to just make the art that we want, you need financial freedom. Because otherwise you have labels talking to you, like, telling you what to do, you fall on chasing algorithms. So the way to creative freedom is financial freedom. Financial freedom you get independently by having a business. This business, in our case, as we said, is supposed to make 10K a month. So now when you offer a set with $500, that means you need to have 20 times 500, $20, 20 sales per month. If you know that when you message 100 people, one person buys, so your conversion rate is 1%. That means we need 100 messages per sale times 20. You need to text 2,000 people per month. That means 500 a week or 100 a day. You make your goal from 10K a month. And let's say you're getting better, you know what works, and you have then 3 people per 100 who buy your stuff, sign up, then you only need 165 per week or 33 messages per day. And on the other hand, if you, for instance, do YouTube, and you know, because you also know where you are, you know per 1,000 views, usually 2 people buy. That means in order to make 20 sales, you need to get 10,000 views. If you know that you usually get 2,500 views per video, then you know that you need 10,000 views, which equals 4 videos to go to 10K. And now let's say you don't do just the one or the other, as I said, because you start with messaging and on the side you do YouTube, and now you do both. And all of a sudden, only thing it takes is 2 videos per month and 17 messages per day. Now you know your goal isn't 10K, that's just where you want to go. Your goal is to make 2 videos and to shoot out 17 messages per day. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is how to increase conversion. You know, here, when we actually made 3 happy people to sign up for our offer instead of 1 person. So that's the one thing. The other thing is, how can we get better so that we can charge more money? If our offer would be 1,000 instead of 500 for ghost production, mixing, coaching, whatever, then we would only need 1 video per month and 9 messages. You probably need more than 1 video because for YouTube, there's people who it works, but to compound, to get a certain amount of videos. But you get what I mean. This napkin mathematics here, and you know where you want to go. You need to break it down into steps, and then you have goals that you can take action to. And now let's come to the point, how do I increase conversions and how can I charge more for my stuff? So I do that by improving my skills. The first and most important skill to develop is your music. So we need to get better at music to charge more per unit. The other thing that we have to get better at is you have to become good at making good offers and good products. When you have your skills and then you have to package them into something that people really need. So you have to make products that are user-centric, so actual value that you can provide to someone else's life. For instance, when we knew that you're a killer producer, but there's not such a great market for your death metal jazz, but there's for tech house. So you want to make a good offer to provide lots of value to the market. And so you can charge more per unit and you can get higher conversions, meaning that more people out of 100 sign up to your offer. And then you have to become good at marketing. Marketing is not like some people believe, that you create demand or you persuade people into wanting your stuff. It's basically just understanding your audience. It's not like learn tech house. People want to feel creatively fulfilled. People want to have a community. People want to have respect, recognition, status, want to be respected artists. And if you understand these things that go much deeper than learn how to make a nice beat, you dip into the dreams and desires of the people. That is what marketing actually is. And the more you can do that, the higher you can charge. And the other part is sales. Sales is the way how you turn these eyeballs into dollars. And we're doing this, and I love this, is by taking control of a person's thoughts and emotions over a period of time in order to optimize their spending. You see, it's not to manipulate them, that they think, oh fuck, what did I buy again? But that you optimize, because you provide something for them that's from value to them. The only thing you do with the sales is to basically push them into their luck. And this is why it's so important to have high value skills, have a great offer and product, because you know that what you do is going to make their life better. So this is what sales actually is. And now to acquire these skills, to achieve those goals, you also have to become the character who makes these things work and who gets the skills. In order to do this, you need 3 main characteristics: patience, consistency, and discipline. Patience, because as I said already, the most important factor is time. And even though I'm giving you here right now the way I tell you, this is how you go from A to B, and you do your messages, but it probably goes like this. When you do get better, when you set the right goals, when you make great offers, when you get good at marketing, when you get good at skills, it's inevitable. When you just stay consistent, you go the way that you're going to get where you want. Doesn't matter, not just financially, also with your music, whatever goals you have in life. And the way to do that the best is discipline. If you do the work, even if you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it, because this is going to make your personality grow. So this, in my opinion, are the 3 most important characteristics and the characteristics you find. And overall stands beliefs. How you think dictates the decisions that you make, and the decisions you make dictate the life that you have. I hope I could change your beliefs a bit, because many people think, many producers or musicians don't know actually what's possible. So when you are selling samples, many music producers look at other music producers and they're making 1,000, 2,000 aside there. But if you don't see it as a sample pack business, if you see it as e-commerce, then you benchmark what's possible. There's e-commerce stores who make billions. It gets much bigger. If you see Sematics, okay, he does 300,000 a month. The benchmark, I hope I could just raise for you. When you think that this is possible, you make decisions that you can accomplish this as well, and these decisions can push you then into having this life as well. So I hope that I could broaden your belief system, or if you already knew these things, to acknowledge, is this the right word, this belief system? How long will this actually take? Because now we have the market, we know the 3 business models, and we know the person you need to become. And now the time. The sobering answer is it doesn't matter. Have grown a great market, and we know it's the greatest market, and these business models are proven. We know 3 people now at least, or 4, that make a lot of money. If you reach out to the 1733, let's say 50 people a day, and you make exceptional content, and you get these exceptional skills, and you develop your personality, it definitely leads to success. The dollar is not just the money. If it's relationships, if it's your music, if you put these things in, it always works. Just one more point is, what are the 6 biggest mistakes that you can make? Mistake number 1 is definitely having the wrong time expectations. As we said already, because if you think that's going to be like a 6-month thing, you're just going to be disappointed. Because if you see it as annoying work, the person who enjoys their work at the end will always outperform you, you know? It's like with music. If you have students or something, you have to force themselves all the time to learn music. In the long run, the people who actually enjoy doing it and don't see it as work outlast them. Stay patient, because that goes hand in hand with each other. Don't be entitled. Don't be entitled. That you're good and successful at music doesn't mean that you are good at business. That people should pay you because of where you released, who you worked with, or where you performed. Because that only feeds your ego, especially when you work in services. If you're a ghost producer or a mixer, master, or you deliver any kind of service, the client is always right. So it's important to always have your passion projects, but if the client has some weird wishes and things that you know, that I know would make the track worse, you still have to do it. And you can give him your opinion, but don't take offense when this person still wants to have it their way. Could be also a similar thing in ghost productions. When you give someone a track and this track gets more recognition as your own track, some people will take it very hard, but you have to just see that this is still your craft. You know, even the people don't know. But this is one important part, to watch the ego. Number 5, only take advice from people who have done what you try to do. For instance, my dad is super handy. He's perfect at repairing something. So when I have to prepare something, I give him a call. But I don't ask him what thumbnail I should use for this YouTube video. Not because I don't care about his opinion, but because it's just not his expertise. So you need to learn to only listen to people who are experts in your field or have done what you want to do. And by far the biggest mistake, it's a bit corny, is giving up. As long as you don't give up, you can't lose. And that being said, if you want a step-by-step path, how to build a sample company, how to build a coaching program, or how to freelance as a music producer, I'm currently working on this exact 3 videos. So if they are already finished by the time you're watching this, I'm gonna link them somewhere here. And if not, just sign up for my newsletter and I will notify you when they're ready. If you actually still watching and you stuck with me for so long, I love you and hopefully see you on the next one.